Hello and welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. I'm joined by Stephen Byrne and Sean here in studio today for our preview of Ireland's Saturday night World Cup qualifier against Portugal in Lisbon. I'll start off, lads, just before we get into the kind of the squad, the comings and goings in the squad. Feelings coming into this one, very negative, as you know. After the last campaign, unfortunately. Sorry, after the last international window, unfortunately. Any optimism coming into this one? Obviously, Portuguese team joins in international football. What do you think?
I mean, look, the Portugal team we're coming against, man. I mean, some of the players in that squad, Vitinha, best midfielder in the world, in my opinion. Nuno Mendes, best left back in the world. Ronaldo to go. It's a tough squad to take on, especially over in Lisbon. But for me, the optimism would be I'm hoping that somehow Armenia get a result against Hungary and somehow we scrape a draw in Lisbon. Is that possible? I'm not too sure about that now. But yeah, it's hard to be optimistic coming out of that Armenia game. It really is. You know, we went into these World Cup qualifiers with huge optimism from what we've seen before. The Bulgaria games, the friendlies against Senegal. It's just been shot out of the air though, hasn't it? Since that Armenia game. Obviously the draw against Hungary wasn't the worst draw in the world. I mean, I think a lot of Ireland fans would have taken that point. But man, yeah, it's hard to find optimism coming into this game. What about yourself, Sean?
I think the one thing, we have to look at is we haven't really played many top teams under Hallgrímsson.
Yeah.
So we're kind of an unknown entity against the top teams. It's fine playing against an Armenia or a Bulgaria. We don't know really what we're going to get here when we play Portugal. How does this team come out? How do they set up? And how are we going to play?
Yeah. The only thing I'd say on that is the only time that we did play a big team, England
5-0.
that didn't go well.
Yeah.
But I suppose we'll get to it now. Some of the people coming back into the squads, the likes of Troy Parrish, Seamus Coleman coming back in. Obviously the positive side of it, the negative side of it, like Sammy Smodics going out, Callum O'Dowda, who's in decent form, going out. Matt Doherty as well going out. So your evaluation of this squad as opposed to the last time, I know it's almost like it feels a bit like pointless to talk about it almost because of like how things ended in the last window. Obviously Armenia away, Hungary at home. It was an okay point, but I think going into that I actually also expected us to go out and try and win that. It's amazing like how different the expectations are this time.
Because that's the confidence we had as fans going into that game.
Exactly, yeah. It's amazing like our perspective on things as like Ireland fans coming into this window as opposed to the last window and this World Cup qualifiers as a whole. But to touch on the squad specifically, what are your thoughts on the squad coming into this one?
Yeah, I mean, look, Troy coming back is big. He only played 20 minutes at the weekend, so I'm not sure if he'll feature much. I don't think he'll start. You can't imagine he's going to start. Will Ferry coming in, the Dundee player. To be honest with you, I was shocked to see him come in as a kind of an attacking left back. You have Josh Honahan there, who you've brought in to the provisional squad during the summer, and then you brought him in the last window to play against Armenia and Hungary. So I just thought it was really strange that Josh Honahan wasn't given a chance, but there's a player playing kind of like mid-table-ish Scottish football that's given a chance ahead of him. That's the one thing I seen that I thought it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah,
look, Dundee United, they are fourth in the SPL, playing well, but I would agree with you. I would have been kind of disappointed, especially if seeing as Josh Honahan had been in the last two squads.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's travelled. He never even got one single minute. He's playing fantastic, playing his best football at club level, in the Conference League, in the League of Ireland, in the FAI Cup. Just bring him. Just bring him and give him a minute. What's the worst that can happen at this point,
Yeah. Sean, your thoughts on the squad?
I mean, it's unlikely that Ferry or Honan, whoever got brought, was going to feature at all. So I think it would have been a good look to take Honan, with Rovers playing so well. I think it's a good look. It's good optics to bring a League of Ireland player into such a massive game, massive squad. Yeah,
well, that was kind of the debate when he was first called up in the professional squad. That it was just kind of like a
token.
An optic. Yeah, you kind of called that early doors. But my thinking is, you're gonna give Will Ferry a chance, like out of nowhere, after you just brought Honahan on two previous trips. You called him up late to the last squad as well, which says a lot. He must have been on his mind. He must be on the fringes of making a squad in the first place. So yeah, I don't know. I thought it was strange. I think you bring him, you give him a few minutes, but other than that, the squad doesn't really shock me.
Yeah, just to clarify that, I don't think it's a token. I think that Josh Honahan actually deserves to be in the squad.
Yeah.
But it just felt like at the time, the timing of it came like right after Hallgrímsson had a kind of
dispute
with Stephen Bradley and Stephen Kenny at the time.
Yeah.
So it just felt a bit like kind of a gesture at the time. It didn't feel real. As far as the squad goes moving forward, the strikers, we talked about Troy Parrott a little bit. Only played 20 minutes for AZ on the weekend. Evan Ferguson was an unused sub for Roma. Comes out afterwards that he had picked up a knock as well. Adamida also not necessarily starting every game for Swansea. Hasn't really caught fire yet.
Got his first goal, to be fair to him, a penalty, but he hasn't caught fire besides that.
Did get his first one, but not probably starting as much as we would have hoped for him to do, especially going to a team like Swansea from Celtic. And obviously Sammy Smollick's being out, all of a sudden our attacking options look weakened already.
100%, man. I mean, when you're kind of looking at what we have gone forward, what type of way would you like to set up, and like initially going away to Lisbon?
You'd imagine he's gonna probably go with one up front. I think you'd have to look at Ada if the other two aren't fit. I think Ada's probably your third choice. Now I don't know whether if you're going to Portugal and if your choice is between the three of them, maybe Parrott is your third choice just based on his physicality, and if he's gonna go there, you can't imagine he's gonna get a lot of the ball. It's gonna be, it's gonna be aerial, and I think Ada, in fairness to him, he does well, he scraps well, and he's big and he's physical. So I mean if Ferguson isn't fit, if they're not confident that Ferguson's fitting up to start, I think you've Ada there.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, it's worth saying we do still have Finn Azaz. We have Mikey Johnston. We have Casey McAteer, Benny Festia Baselle's coming back into the squad, and I believe he's listed as a forward. We do have attacking options there. But one of the strong points of our squad had been that trio of strikers that had been so strong at club level. Either last season, Troy Parrott, the way he started this season, and unfortunately got a quite serious injury. Evan Ferguson, I don't think we know the full specifics of what his injury entails. Is it serious, is it not? Because as I said, he was on the bench for Roma and yet not used. So it'll be interesting to see what the actual story is there. He is with the team, so I suppose that's a positive. And if he is fit enough to play, I think he will play.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Especially like considering he was probably, him along with maybe Ryan Manning were kind of the shining lights of the last window, if there was any. So I suppose moving on to this game specifically, we talked about potential options going forward, but in the midfield as well, we're also having trouble because Jason Knight isn't in the squad either through injury. Jason Malumbi does come back into the setup, so does Will Smallbone with a new haircut. What are we thinking?
A new Barna.
How does that work?
I'll let you shoot away, Sean.
This is a tough one, I suppose. I mean, we're not exactly blessed in the middle, because
that was
that
was one of the kind of main pieces of the team that people blamed after that campaign, how bad we were in midfield, how disconnected they were to the rest of the team.
Yeah, I think for me, the way I'd be kind of hoping Ireland set up here is, we're nowhere near technically as good as Portugal. You have to hope that you're physically strong. And we've seen at Wembley, the time we have played a top team, we've seen Collins kind of push on into that midfield. I mean, I think your only way here is you have to be physical. We're gonna have to be good in the air, and that's how I'd kind of be looking at. You'd have, your O'Brien. I'd still have him out on the right.
Yeah,
I don't. It was controversial or not. And I'd like to see maybe Collins push on, because I thought what we done really well at Wembley in that first half was, especially from kickouts, Collins pushed up right towards Evan Ferguson, and the two of them up there competing for the ball. I think if we could utilise that, and I'd be looking at maybe your Ogbenes or your Ebisellis, just strong runners, people who can battle and can, win those duels. I think that's probably our best chance of getting that out of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's some good points. And look, when you kind of look at the Portugal midfield, Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, João Neves, in Hallgrímsson's mind, how is he actually thinking with the players he has, how he's going to set up against that? I'm not sure, but I can probably see him just putting Smallbone in.
Really, yeah, straight back in.
I wouldn't be shocked, to be honest. I mean, I am actually lost for ideas of that midfield. I wouldn't mind seeing Malumbi going in with the energy and the tenacity that he has,
But it's a good point you make, about that England game, because it's easy to forget given the final score, that we were actually quite good in that first half, and that was with Nathan Collins playing centre mid, playing in that like number 6 role. I believe we had McGuinness at the back as well, and Liam Scales played quite well until he got sent off. So like that could be an option. Like that was under Hamer at the time as well, so maybe that is something that is in his thinking coming up against such a good side, and I would argue a better midfield this time around, playing Portugal than against that England team, which is quite scary. But coming into this game, Steve, if Ireland are to get a result out of it, why is that? What are the reasons that we get a result out of this?
I think if we are to get a result out of this game, we were better on set pieces. We used our set pieces to the maximum of basically we basically use our set pieces really well in every situation. Corners, free kicks, we need to put fantastic balls into the box. Whoever's on the free kicks, on the corners, fantastic balls. Get Nathan Collins onto it, get Daryl O'Shea onto it, get Jake O'Brien on the end of them crosses. He's going to be huge in this game, I think, especially with how good Ronaldo is in the air and defending set pieces. But I think offensively, set pieces are huge in this. Personally, if Ryan Manning plays, I'd love to see him whipping a good few crosses, a good few corners. He has an absolute wand on him. So yeah, I think set pieces, man, I really do.
Yeah, definitely. He was one of the shining lights of the last window, wasn't he? And Sean, same question to you. Is it possible that we get a result out of this? And if so, how do you envision that happening?
It's definitely possible. I think the biggest factor is going to be luck.
Yeah.
I was watching the highlights of the Germany game, the 1-0 at home. I don't know about you, but you kind of forget how many chances Germany had in that game.
Yeah.
But no one remembers it, You hung in there, you got lucky, and you snatch it at the end. I think we're going to have to get lucky. If Portugal are at it, I don't think it matters what we do.
Yeah.
I think Ireland are going to have to do everything they can as well as they can, or else, and then just hope that Portugal have an off day.
Yeah.
Or else, I think this probably gets away from us.
That's why I think set pieces are so important in this game, and you have to take your chances when they come,
Yeah, definitely. I was at that Germany game as well, and you're right, like we were peppered for the whole, I think it was, I can't remember what minute the goal came in, but it felt like an hour of just being hammered the whole game.
Yeah.
And you're talking about like prime Thomas Muller, Mesut Ozil, Mario Götze, like all these players in the prime, like right before they won that World Cup. Or was it right after?
Just after.
Right after, yeah. So just off the back of that. But I think the difference in the not to kind of skew negative here, but the difference between that Ireland team and this Ireland team is that I think that Ireland team, we got more out of them than they probably should have got out. Like I think those players were kind of journeymen, maybe players who came off the bench in the Premier League.
Yeah. If
any of them played in the Premier League, most of them were playing in the Championship, and they came and they actually performed better for Ireland than you would expect. Whereas now I think it's the complete opposite. Like I look at the likes of Nathan Collins, who is our captain, who is one of the better youngish centre backs in the Premier League, who might be kind of angling for a big move this summer coming. The likes of Josh Cullen, who has in my opinion been excellent for Burnley and been one of the standouts for them in the Premier League so far. How commanding he is for them in the middle, and you just see it come to Ireland and it's just not working out at all. They look like different players, and I think that's most obvious with Nathan Collins, but then you could also say that for the likes of Matt Doherty and others, Jake O'Brien as well. So I'm not sure if I'd be too optimistic. I know there is a chance that Portugal underestimate us coming into this, but I'd be afraid of all these world-class players that they have just completely overrun us.
100%, man. And I think a big part of this game, you kind of asked, if Ireland get a result, how do I see that happening? Like, let's not beat ourselves here either. Let's not give away a silly penalty. Let's not see Nathan Collins make a silly mistake at the back like we've seen a couple of times over the last few games. Let's just not do something very, very silly to ourselves. Stay focused, stay locked in, and just protect that ball at the back. When we're passing the ball at the back, we need to be so careful because that Portugal press is going to absolutely bombard us.
Yeah. And just finally, before I get predictions off you, talking about that backline, and we talked about in the aftermath of the last window about how that partnership of Nathan Collins and Darragh O'Shea might be, come to the end of the road. Matt Doherty isn't in this squad. Left back with Ryan Manning, who was pretty good, but like you'd imagine Robbie Brady would be in that position as well. Do you see a change maybe in that back line? Do you see Jake O'Brien maybe moving more centrally and starting Seamus Coleman? Do you see John Egan, who's been reintroduced into the squad, playing? Liam Scales is back in the squad. Do you see any of them kind of cracking into the starting 11? Either one of you can take that.
There was a lot of criticism for Jake O'Brien after the Armenia game. You can understand that, like, everyone was poor that day, but and maybe to an extent in the Hungary game too. But what I liked in the Hungary game was Jake O'Brien is huge, and they definitely targeted Kirkaz in that first half, maybe, but just throwing it out there, that long ball, and just clipping it out to him every time. He's going to win headers against 90% of people he's up against.
Yeah.
And when you have someone like that, it can just relieve a bit of pressure. Like, if you're not going to be able to hit the striker, I mean, having someone you can just clip it out to. So I personally, I'd leave him there. I'd leave him playing right back. I'd probably go to a 5 personally and leave him out there. Just, I mean, you can't come here. You can't go to Portugal and play. You're going to have to go in and sit in. And I'd have him there. As I said, physicality is, I think, Ireland's strong suit here. And there's an argument for Coleman. I mean, if he's coming in and playing against Portugal, you'd worry for him. Like,
Nuno Mendes,
you haven't not played, you would worry for him. But as you said, like Nuno Mendes, like if you're pushing Jake O'Brien up on him and then targeting him, as I said, Colin's done it in the England game. O'Brien done it against Hungary. It's definitely something Hallgrímsson maybe looks at. Then there is. I mean, I'm not saying that's a reason to be optimistic, but there is definitely a way to play that we have seen and could do again.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree. I think Jake O'Brien was good in that Hungary game. Thought he was poor in the Armenia game, but like you said, so was really everybody apart from maybe Evan Ferguson.
And Jake's still learning the position as well. You know, he's not a centre. Sorry, he's not a a right back at nature. He's still learning the position.
Yeah, and not to go on about this too much, but it's a point that I actually didn't think of before this, like the England game and how we did play Nathan Collins there. And I remember in the aftermath of that, there was discussion about Nathan Collins potentially playing there in the long term for Ireland, especially given our kind of lack of quality on the ball, lack of, I don't know, strength in that midfield, that we're kind of playing Josh Cullen and Jason Knight there by default almost, because no one else is really stepping up to take that position. It could be something interesting to look at into this game. Could you see that maybe happening, or do you think we'll all just look silly and it'll be basically Darragh O'Shea, Nathan Collins centre back, and Josh Cullen alongside whoever else? I
think we'll see the norm. I do, because we haven't seen Collins playing in midfield and.
But sorry, Steve, just, like the urgency of this situation. Like I don't think it's an overestimation to say, or an over exaggeration to say that this is like the end of the road for Hamer if we don't, get any results out of this. And I know they're not going to sack him. They're going to see at the end of his contract at least. But this is kind of do or die now. So the urgency is there to actually go out and do something here. And clearly what we've done in the past hasn't worked. So are we going to change something now, or are we just kind of stick with what we have?
I really don't think so. I think we'll probably come into this game 5 at the back. I think we'll see Jake O'Brien play at right centre half, beside Darragh O'Shea and Collins. And honestly, I can actually see. I'm not sure who he play on right wing back without Matt Doherty, but Festi, do you play Festi up against Nuno Mendes to kind of stuff that pace?
Well, Benny can play there as well.
Yeah, Benny, yeah.
Casey McAteer even.
You have a few options there at right wing back, but I think that's where he'll go for the back 3 anyway. So I don't think he'll go back 4.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll play O'Brien right back against Nuno Mendes. But look, I suppose we'll see what happens. I mean, like you said, this is urgency. Yeah. Like we need to see something here in this game, and it's a shame to say because of the opposition it's against,
But by sticking to the norm, I mean, if it doesn't work against Armenia away from home, it's not going to work against Portugal. Now I know it's totally different approaches. You're going to Armenia to win the game. We're going here to not lose, but something has to change there. Because I mean, if you go with Josh Cullen in the middle, I mean, I don't know no matter who you put beside him, Finazaz, Will Smart, it doesn't matter. You're not going to outplay that Portugal midfield. So you need to play to your strengths here. And where are Ireland strong? We're big.
We're a physical side. Yeah.
You said a target set pieces, but from play, I mean, we're not going to play through the lines against Portugal and suddenly 5, 6, 7 passes and we're away. It's not going to be that. It's going to be scrappy, and it's going to take someone to win their duel.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Would you do something radical, like stick Nathan Collins into that midfield and maybe throw Liam Scales at the back with Darragh O'Shea and actually, like you said, play to what our strengths are. And I think people really forget that things only unravelled when Liam Scales got sent off in that match. Ireland were really good in that first half, and we're sitting there at half time thinking we're actually like asking a few really decent questions here of England, who are at the time considered one of the best teams in the world, and I suppose still kind of are. And I do think this Portugal team are actually another step up from that, believe it or not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Especially in that midfield area. So finally, try and get a bit of optimism here, lads. What are the score predictions for this match? Steve, an Ireland win, surely?
An Ireland win? Unfortunately not, my friend. Unfortunately not. Too many world class players in this Portugal team. I'll go 3-1 Portugal.
3-1 Portugal?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I
don't think Hallgrímsson's going to change much. I really don't. Like when you're asking me, do I see like some changes? I'm not saying what I want to happen. I'm saying what I think Hallgrímsson's going to go with.
But he's been willing to do it in the past. I mean,
yeah.
if you come out at Wembley,
I don't know, man,
and you're willing to do that, I mean that takes bravery. It wouldn't shock me now if he does it.
In fairness, now that's over a year ago now, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, man, he's literally under huge pressure and scrutiny, and then he's going to go and put his centre half in midfield. He just get more scrutiny. I just can't see him doing that after it being so long since last time, you know.
But when was the last time we've played opposition that were that good?
Yeah,
we haven't. Every other game you could go in and say we can compete here. We're maybe not as good, but we're we can compete. Whatever. Hungary are probably the best side we've played
since then. Yeah,
and we can compete. Absolutely. That England game, I can't stop thinking about it. Like that worked. That first half up until that red card, that worked. If that team sheet comes out and that's the way this team sets up, I'd be optimistic. Still don't think it's enough, but I think we'll be in the game. I think we'll compete. If it is the norm, if it is just someone coming in for Jason Knight instead, if it's a Will Smallbone,
it's just more the same.
I think it's a sloppy early goal and the finish is probably 4-0 to Portugal.
Yeah, and is that your prediction?
Yeah.
4-0 Portugal. And I said 3-1 as if I was shocked. To be honest, that's probably on the kind of optimistic side, if I'm honest. Like looking at this Ireland team right now, we got played off the park by Armenia.
I know.
Like that wasn't a fluke. We got hammered by Armenia. And I know you could maybe say that we gave up in the second half, and I'm sure that had a part to that had something to do with it. But if we're giving up against Armenia, like it'll be even quicker before we're giving up against Portugal, especially away from home. Do I go optimistic or do I give my actual opinion?
What do you feel? What does your heart say?
Like my heart says 1-0.
I love that.
My heart says 1-0, but like my head says like 20-0 to Portugal. Do you know what I mean? Like it's one of them, because like it could be a cricket score really, but I'll go with 1-0. And I'll say Troy Parrott comes off the bench and scores a equaliser.
And what do you think, just before we finish up, what do you think he'll do? Hallgrímsson, do you think he'll take that chance? Do you think he'll put a Collins in midfield? Do you think he'll try something different?
No, like I'd probably, if I had to stick the house on it, I'd say just go with what we have.
Who comes in for Jason Knight then?
Who comes in? I could see Jason Malumbi going straight back in.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I don't know if I can see Will Smallbone going in against Portugal, especially.
See, Malumbi has legs.
Yeah.
Against that Portugal midfield.
What else has he got?
No, look, I'm not saying.
No, I'm not giving out to you.
I know. I know.
You know, you're trading out Jason Knight, who I wouldn't play anyway there against Portugal.
I would do what we're saying. I'd stick Collins in midfield.
I think so. I think that's
what I'd do. I don't think he's going to do it.
I mean,
if you can just imagine, if it is Adamaida that plays, and you're from kick out team, just start as basic as your kick out. If you imagine you're clipping that to a triangle of Ida, O'Brien, and Collins.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to win a lot of ball there, and you're gonna gain possession, retain possession high up the pitch.
Yeah.
It worked at Wembley at times, and we got chances out of it. I mean, if you go with the tried and trusted here, we're in big trouble.
No.
That is, I suppose, the positive of, if you find a positive in Ferguson and Parrott being not so fit, is Ida does come in, and Ida will deal with them long balls very, very well. He has that pace, he has that size, he gets up really high for balls in the air. So that could be the game plan as well. Long ball to Ida over the top.
That's the thing. At that stage, is it worth even having a Finn Azaz in there?
Exactly.
No.
So maybe you just stuff the midfield with loads of legs and physicality.
Oh, the battlers.
I think we'll see Malumbi play. I really do.
Yeah.
I think so. I think you'll have Malumbi chasing Vitinha all night.
And he gets booked after 15 minutes and suddenly we're in.
Seconds.
Yeah.
Seconds, my friend.
That's if you can even get close to him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But look, that's it now for our preview. As you can see, we're all very optimistic for this match. We're buzzing for it. But make sure you stick around on Irish Football Fan TV for all coverage of this international window. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.